Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Ba'Hashem Rekah Kodash. This lesson is on the Israelites were the only nation chosen to be the Lord's people. And I'm going to use the examples of Isaiah 42 and Matthew, the 12th chapter, and go into some meanings of words. Because people believe that the Gentiles, mainly the Christians, the so-called Christians, people that call themselves Christians, they're not really the Christians. They've been chosen for another thing. But Matthew the 12th chapter clearly explains whom the Gentiles are, and that's according to prophecy. Now, if you look up Matthew 12 chapter, it says, and when he was departed thence, he went into their synagogue. Now, this is not talking about a heathen place of worship, where the actual heathen, like the Greeks, Romans, Elamites, that are actually from those nations that descend from the lines of Genesis 10th chapter, where it gives you tables of nations. This synagogue was a synagogue of the Israelites. Now, the basis of the word, it was synagogue. All right, and the basic form of synagogue is just to gather together. But as applied to the biblical usage here, it's referring to the gathering of the Israelites. All right, so we look down here, see that this is the rudimentary, just the general term for what it means, these first two. All right, third one is just generic and then shouldn't really even be there. Now A and B is what the biblical usage is assigned to. All right, it's how it's being used in biblical usage in Matthew the 12th chapter, and mainly throughout the New Testament. It says, assembly of Jews, which should be Israelites, formally gathered together to offer prayers and to listen to the readings and expositions of the scriptures. Assemblies of that sort were held every Sabbath and feast day. Afterwards, also on the second and fifth days of the. All right, so you get the picture. It's a gathering of the Israelites into a common area. All right, and it goes into some history right here. All right, so that's what the synagogue is in reference to, synagogue. All right, the Israelites gathering into an assembly. All right, now what's going to happen here is Yahushua is going to heal an Israelite on the Sabbath day and call him a Gentile. Behold, this is Matthew 12 and 10. And behold, there was a man which had his hand withered, and they asked him, saying, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days? That they might accuse him. All right. And this is Yahushua's wisdom. And he said unto him, proceeding after that, and he said unto him and to them, what man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if he fall into a pit on a Sabbath day, and where the sheep? All right. Will he not lay hold on him and lift it out? How much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days. Then saith he to the man, stretch forth thine hand, and he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole like as the other. All right, so he healed a brother, an Israelite, within the house of worship of the Israelites. All right, because it started off here, it says, and when he had departed thence, he went into their Sabbath, into their synagogue. All right, so he went to the Israelite synagogue. All right, he healed a brother in the synagogue. All right, and he stretched it forth, and it was restored like as the other. And the Pharisees went out and held counsel against him, how he might destroy him. All right, now we're going to jump down. Matthew 12 and 17. That it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet Isaiah, or it says Isaiah, the prophet, saying, that's Isaiah when you look it up. It says, behold, my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall shew forth judgment, and he shall shew judgment to the Gentiles. All right. So the Gentiles spoken right here is specifically referring to the Israelites. All right. And the proof was he went into the Israelite synagogue and healed on the Sabbath day. All right. Now we're going into Isaiah 42. All right. Isaiah 42:1 says, behold, my servant, whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth. I will put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. Now we know it's pretty much saying the same exact thing. Now you got key words here: Rakah, Mashapat, and Goyah. All right. Now we got La, which is two, Goyim, which is Gentiles, and at the Ma on the end of it makes it plural. So it's to the Gentiles. So judgment to the Gentiles. La Goyim. Now the basis of the word, or the root of the word, is just Goyah. All right. Ga, Wa, and Ya. Goyah. Plural form is Goyim. All right. So this prophecy was fulfilled. Isaiah the 42nd chapter was fulfilled in Matthew the 12th chapter. Well, it was spoken about being fulfilled in Matthew the 12th chapter. But Yahushua had been, doing, works. Yahushua had been working and teaching before Matthew the 12th chapter. It was just written and explained here in this manner. So what I have next are the shots from the screenshots from the Hebrew New Testament. And as you see here, you have La Goyim, which is two, Goyah, Gentile, and Ma makes it plural. And you have the same thing here, Mashapat. And as you can see here in the English side, that it's the correct, you have the English on the left and the Hebrew on the right. So you can see this is the exact page that we're on. This is Matthew 12. You see Roman numerals 10, 1, 1, which is 10 plus 2, 12, and 8 right there. So that's pretty much the lesson. Proved here that the Israelites are referred to as the Gentiles in the scriptures. All right. I got two more slides, but prove the point. And we have here, this is from the Greek lexicon of the Septuagint. This is just the base is not really descriptive, because it doesn't tell you that it's referring to actual Israelites speaking to other Israelites. It only gives you the definition of spoken of by the Gentiles. All right, but it's actually can be referring to both. It can be referring to actual heathen Gentiles that are not of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and it can be talking about the actual seed of Jacob. All right, which gave birth to the Israelites. All right, and you have ethnos, which you'll see that a lot in the New and Old, actually, New and Old Testament, in the Septuagint, in the Texas Receptus in the New Testament. Stereotypical renditions of Goyah, nations, people. So that's just the basic form of it. Then it says non-Jews, Gentiles, which can be referring to non-Jews, Gentile, or non-Israelites. All right. Then it says the Jewish nation, in parentheses, spoken of by the Gentiles. So they're implying that, the nations that speak Greek or Hebrew would say ethnos or Goyah or Goyim as referring to the Israelites. All right. But again, this is just a generic term. You have to apply it according, put precept upon precept, and look up the history and the prophecies, which we just proved before this. All right. And and you have the Ben Yehudi, a Hebrew English dictionary, and you have here Goya, non-religious Jew or non-religious Israelite. All right, well, Israelites that lost their faith, they weren't really conducting themselves as Israelites, even if they knew they were Israelites, and they were somewhat so-called religious. They were still being called Goya, because that man that had his hand withered, if he wasn't at least somewhat religious, why'd he go into the synagogue? Because he had faith, he believed. All right, and he was called Goya. All right, or Goyim, or Goyim. All right, a non-religious Jew. All right. So this is this is a dagger. If you brothers want to do lessons on this topic, you can just screenshot this Hebrew New Testament. You got the English side and the Hebrew side, and this is a major cut to the scoffers that say that the Lord or Yahweh or Jesus Christ came and delivered the whole entire world. All right, meaning all the nations in the world. No, Yahweh came to deliver the Israelites that were scattered amongst the other nations. There was one thing I left out in synagogue. Synagogue. It says the buildings where those solemn Jewish assemblies or solemn Israelite assemblies are held, synagogues are held. Synagogues seem to date their origin from the Babylonian exile in the times past, in the times of Yahushua and the apostles. Every town, not only in Palestine, but also among the Gentiles. That's another major cut right there. All right. But also, not only in Palestine, but also among the Gentiles, if it contained a considerable number of Israelite inhabitants. All right. So that's it. That's the lesson. I believe I proved pretty clear that the Israelites are referring to salvation. The Israelites are also referred to as Goyim and ethnos. All right. Goyim. This is ethnician. All right, which is a different way of saying ethnos. All right, it's a different part of speech for ethnon or ethnos, ethnician. All right. So I hope you brothers were edified. Let me put that last screenshot back up. Hope you brothers were edified. Until next episode, Shalom.